Hello and welcome back to Anywhere But Here, episode 247. My name is Tom.
My name's Zen.
You can find us at abhpod.com, where somewhere on that page, if you scroll down far enough, there's an Amazon banner. If you click through that Amazon banner, go to amazon.co.uk and do your shopping as you regularly would, because you buy everything off Amazon, right? We get 5% of the total spend in your basket for no extra cost to yourself. It just helps us stay on, it helps us with our hosting fees.
Yeah, if you don't have shopping to do on Amazon, you're lying, as Tom said. But you could support us. Or generally, if you're the person who always goes to Amazon, you buy your stuff and you go, fuck, Ant and Tom, I forgot. What you could do is go and support us on Patreon, and then you're doing a monthly donation, and you don't have to feel so guilty if you forget to go for our Amazon banner. For as little as $1 a month, that's the only support tier we have, but you can opt to pay more if you want. You get After the Podcast, which are exclusively for our patrons. They don't go out anywhere else. You get spoiler casts when we record them. We'll put them straight out on our Patreon feed, but if you'll get to hear them eventually on the main feed, as long as they become relevant at some point. And we've got something to do, we'll put them out there. But you get them as and when we record them. You get these main episodes without the intros, without this intro where I'm labouring over the Patreon thing. See? Just support us and you won't have to listen to this ever again.
I mean, that's the main
this is the main selling point, isn't it? But you get all those audio extras, you get all of that stuff. Personalised, you get it into your own RSS feed, which you put into your podcast listening app that you use. You just paste that in there and you'll get all of that delivered to you, so you won't have to go and look for it. And it's got the gold tick. Yeah, and it's all delivered automatically. Tom wanted me to bring it back. I saw it. But we also occasionally do YouTube content, and you can go and you will get the YouTube content early if you're a member of our Patreon supporter as well. Occasionally we might put little extra bits out as well, like outtakes if we've had a funny conversation and not forgotten to record it. We might put that out there extra as well. So you go to our page, click on the Patreon banner, and you'll get all of that stuff. It's explained more concisely over there. Go and read it.
Yeah, and become a patron at the same time.
And become a patron while you're there.
You can find us on Twitter at ABH Pod, on Facebook.com/ABH Pod, or you can find us on YouTube, as we've mentioned there, YouTube.com/ABH Podcast. We also have a, what do we call it, an email. ABH Pod.
Electronic mailing things.
One of those do Jimmy flips.
Yeah.
You got to remember, and we mentioned it in the episode, that we're from a generation where we actually had to get up off our asses to change the TV channel. Email's still a new thing for me. abhpod@gmail.com, where you can send stuff that you don't necessarily want to be putting out there in the ether. It's up to you, really. We don't get very many, but It's there. The option is there.
The option's there to go and contact us there. As Tom has hinted at there, on this episode, we do talk about when we were younger and less entitled, should we say.
We also go off down a massive Marvel Cinematic Universe kind of rabbit hole, where we start talking about casting for Black Widow, and then we go on a bit of a headcanon, and then go back through the history of the XMen films and Blade and stuff. It all got very kind of,
Yeah, it all got very weird. We sort of had it was more of a catch-up episode, like we like to have occasionally. As Tom's pointed out after we recorded, this is the first time in like 2 months we've just been us two. We also talk about maybe like Pixar's ulterior motives to make people cry.
Yeah. Also the weird beef between Justin Bieber and Tom Cruise. But before then, I've been watching something on Netflix. I believe you've been watching it too.
I have, yes.
Let's talk about that.
Enjoy.
Are you watching season 3 of Jessica Jones yet?
2 episodes.
Yeah, me too. No, I think I've finished the 4th one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
2 episodes in. It's just so good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I like it a lot. I don't know who the hell... Well, I've just got to the bit where you've kind of found out who the villain's going to be.
Right, so at the end of episode 1... What happens at the end of episode 1? You find out who that is and why, and kind of his motivation. Oh, okay, because I don't know who it is at the minute.
He's kind of like
we're led to believe at the minute at the end of the episode I'm on. We're led to believe it's the guy that her friend. Why have I forgotten her name?
Yeah.
Pepper, whatever.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Trish.
Trish. Yeah, we find out who. You're led to believe it's the guy who Trish was staking out, or something to do with him. Possibly it is, or they might not make it that obvious. But it was. Yeah, but at the end of the episode, you're like, oh fuck.
Oh, yeah.
And then I really, really enjoyed the second episode where it focuses on Trish.
It was telling the same story, but from a different angle, isn't it? It was the entire first episode again, but from Trish's
I suppose it is supposed
view.
to follow that time scale as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I really like how they did that. And I do like the fact that it focused on Trish because in a way, she's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
But she's a really interesting character. I think.
I'd kind of forgot the fact that they'd massively fallen out at the end of... Because I'd forgotten that Trish killed...
And I forgot why they'd fallen out. And I'd forgotten that she'd had that experiment done on her to make her, powerful.
Yeah.
But
However, she's not really, is she? She's just done loads of training.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. You're led to believe that because I think Jess says to her, didn't she? Oh, so the experiment worked.
Yeah.
Was it worth what you've lost? Or something like that.
But
actually, it looks like she's just trained really, really hard.
Yeah.
But she jumped out of a third-story window.
Yeah, which I don't think you can train for.
No,
Because if you trained all that time to do that, you would shoot your knees out.
Bones are still brittle. But it's it was really cool. And the training montage bit was kind of cool. Except even when she was at her best in the training montage, she still stopped before she got on the monkey bars. And it's if you've seen Ninja Warrior, people don't do that.
No.
They just they keep the flow going.
Yeah, that's the point of parkour, isn't it?
Which she kind of stops and climb up the ladder, jump on the monkey bars. Okay. But it was kind of cool. And then she does that flip. The wall flip at the end, and she sort of gets really excited and then realises there's no one there to celebrate with her, which is the whole point. Yeah. It's just really clever.
There's a cool bit in the third or fourth episode where she uses that kind of parkour in a kind of espionage-y type way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wicked. Yeah, it's just
so there's a payoff for all that,
Yes, isn't it weird how Jessica Jones, the one that we didn't really know about, is probably the best of the 4-5 series.
Yeah.
The Defenders. It's the best.
I think it's probably really well written. Got the best characters overall.
Yeah.
Just well written. I like the noir-y type thing.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think
because it's more like a comic. She does the internal narration.
Yeah, you get the dialogue.
Yeah.
And you get the narration,
yeah.
and it's just it's more grounded, isn't it? Yes, she's powerful, but
she doesn't really use it that often.
She's really human.
Yeah.
Daredevil is really cool action-wise and stuff like that,
and the Punisher as well.
And the Punisher. Oh yeah. Good point. But yeah, it's odd, isn't it, that the two series where there's more superpower involved, like Iron Fist and Luke Cage, probably the least
interesting or engaging.
Yeah, it's cool, but I like it. I hope have Disney announced that they're taking the Defenders over to Disney Plus? Is it Disney Plus?
Yeah, I don't know if they have, but I think also there hasn't been a no either.
Yeah.
And that's always quite telling. Because I suppose they want... even if they don't, they're not going to admit they're not going to until Disney Plus is launched and you've paid your money.
Everyone has subscribed.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, it's too adult for Disney Plus or something.
I wanted to subscribe to Disney Plus anyway because I saw the list of the TV programs they're bringing out. I was like, but it's another expense. Liz probably was saying that, and I read the list out to Liz, and I was just like, I mentioned WandaVision, then I mentioned sort of Winter Soldier and the Falcon.
Yeah,
which is like, we're getting it.
But even regardless of that, all of Disney's films.
Oh, well, yeah, but we've got a lot.
I know,
anyway.
but yeah.
But you could stream them.
But but they can be there. You don't even have to break the box open.
You don't even have to look for the DVD.
You don't have to get out of your chair.
I was so lazy.
Regardless of the fact that
lazy.
You and I were, we were all part of the generation that once upon a time had to get up to change the channel.
Yes.
I had a TV where you had to go over and press a button to change the channel,
And if you did crack open one of your films that you'd gone out and purchased, when you finished watching it, you had to spend 5 minutes rewinding it. or you have to spend 5 minutes rewinding it before you watch it. And now we're just like, you can just press a button and it's there. Yeah.
Or like your friend at Rooster Teeth, like, I should be allowed access to this thing happening half the world away. Why? Why should you?
Yeah.
We never used to.
So Tom's referring to something that we spoke about. I had a tweet that it didn't go viral in the traditional sense of going viral. It just got a lot of likes. People were like, yes, you're right. So, like, Rooster Teeth announced that RTX Austin, they wouldn't be streaming all of the panels. So what they usually do on Twitch, they have multiple streams, about 4 or 5 streams. So they're streaming the panels at the different rooms, so you can watch them. Like, people all over the world can watch them. This year, they haven't managed to secure a partner for streaming, like Twitch, like they have done previously. So all they're going to be able to do is stream the main stage.
Right.
Which is where all the biggest things happen.
Yeah.
So they'll stream the main stage because they can handle that. As a media company, they don't have the capacity or they don't have the time or the money to set up multiple streaming streams.
Yeah.
Before RTX Austin goes on. RTX, for those who don't know, it's a convention. It's sort of like run by Rooster Teeth. I've been to RTX London the last 2 years. They announced that it wouldn't be going ahead this year because it just didn't grow enough over the 2 years to warrant them spending that money.
Sure.
It's fine. They're a business. They don't want to lose money.
And equally, it's...
Yeah. So they announced they wouldn't be streaming it. And then someone tweeted out, cancel RTX London and then make it impossible for those of us who can't afford to fly and get a hotel and get tickets to even stream panels. Nice one. So I just tweeted back, holy shit, the sense of entitlement is strong with this one. I understand being upset, but you make it sound like they owe you something. Because that's
Which
what's
is
happened.
a valid point. Again,
so,
they're a business.
God, you cancelled RTX, which they didn't.
No.
They didn't cancel RTX London.
Because it was...
They never said they were going to do it. So they just put out an announcement saying we're not going to do it, which, in all fairness, they didn't even have to do that.
No.
They hadn't announced it, so why did they need to announce that it wasn't going ahead?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just assume it's going to happen. But they did. They announced it. I was upset about it, but I didn't get angry about it. It's kind of like, well, yeah, it costs a shit ton of money to get, like, probably like 100 employees across the Atlantic staying in London for a week.
As well as guests.
As well as paying for the staging, the lighting, the streaming, the camera equipment. Because they can't bring it all with them. They have to sort of...
Yeah.
They
would
source
hire
people.
it from somewhere.
They have to source someone locally, which costs money. So even spending the time sourcing them.
Yeah.
The merchandise, they have merchandise in the US that they don't have in the UK, so they have to then import all that merch over here. So they've got the logistical costs there. So it's an extremely expensive thing, but they didn't do it. And now this person's pissed off that they're not going to stream every single panel of an event that this person hasn't paid
to go to.
They haven't paid to go to it. They haven't paid for the streams because they stream it for free.
Right. Which is a loss leader. Like,
yeah, just because they're like, okay, community want to see it here. But they're going to stream the main stage. Yeah. Which is where all the big things are going to happen.
Oh, yeah,
anyway.
but this guy is probably like super fan and wants to see everything. And,
no, I think they're... To be fair, I think they're like a community member. They're quite active in the community, so they have put on community panels this year where, like my friend Alex, who is the reactor, some of his friends in the US who are reactors, they react to the Ruby and the Genlock and all of that. So they're actually having a panel. Yeah. As fans, they're hosting a panel. Right. As reactors, because a lot of the Rooster Teeth community watch the reactors. It's sort of like a circle jerk type thing. That's what you think. No. Anyway.
I said nothing. I even tried suppressing the grin.
It's the face, yeah. But this person's obviously quite an active member in the community, so they're a bit upset they're not going to see their friend. And it's like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
But they don't owe it to you to
play
stream
devil's
that.
advocate. The fact is, they've made a rod for their own back over the years by doing it, and then taking it away is going to upset people. However, in the grand scheme of things, getting upset about it is really fucking entitled, and you come across like a bit of a bitch.
Yeah, really. But it's just one of those things. Like, and I responded and said, like, I was looking forward to RTX London, but they never announced it. So it's like
Exactly.
they haven't cancelled something I purchased tickets for, so they don't have to refund me. Even if I had bought the tickets and then they cancelled it and then refunded me, that's it. We're even.
Yeah.
Because somebody replied and said they brought tickets, which of course they didn't.
Yeah.
This person's just assuming they brought tickets, and said, and RT isn't even trying to make it up to them. It's like, well, if they had brought tickets and Rooster Teeth have refunded them, that's making it up to them. They're even now. Why should they make it up to them even more?
No, it's stupid. It's like when Dave Grohl fell off the stage a couple of years ago when we had Foo Fighters tickets and he cancelled the rest of his tour. I got my money back. Yeah, I'd have preferred to have kept the ticket and gone to see them the next time they were over. Yeah. But that wasn't part of the deal.
And the thing is,
you know.
And the thing is, Dave Grohl did more than he should have done in that situation.
He carried on
anyway.
playing.
He went off, got strapped up, came back on, and finished the concert.
Yeah.
He could have left.
Yeah, most people probably would have.
Like, he could have left and then probably not even given those people the money back for their tickets because they got most of the show.
Yeah.
But he came back on and went, by the way, I'm going to have to cancel the rest of the show. And you're like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, you're right.
But this online... Oh, God, this free thing, this event that I haven't paid for, you're not giving me a free version of it? Fuck you.
Yeah, it's the entitlement, isn't it? Like, it's okay to have an opinion on something. And it's okay to be a little bit annoyed about something, but you can't be annoyed about something that never even existed in the first place.
Yeah. So that actual person did tweet me back as well and said they don't owe us anything, so don't act like they do. That's where we kind of.
That's where we differ on
that's
this.
That's where the mistake happened. You made it sound like they owed you something. But I think after 2 overseas events are cancelled, I don't know what the second one is. Right. To be honest with you, and the first one wasn't cancelled, like I said. The non-US stores don't get new stock, which is true. The stock that they have in the US stores, they have a lot more than they do in the UK stores.
I wonder why that is. Because they're from the US.
The thing is, they do they have a manufacturer over here.
Yeah.
For T-shirts and things like that, so they have a printing company over here they use, and they stock stuff in the UK. Now that is fair. But most of the T-shirts that they stock in the US, they do stock in the UK because it's quite easy to go, oh, we've got blank T-shirts, you've got a new design, cool, we'll print that on it. But then when they release new products like the jackets, the baseball shirts, things like that, that's a different garment that they now have to source and then figure out how to print on. There's a lot more cost. They do a lot of like glasses and mugs and belts and things like that. It's like they have to source a manufacturer of that product before they can even say, here's the design. Here's our version of that product. So there's a lot more involved in it. But yeah, they don't stock the same stuff. And they don't come to any non-RTX overseas events. Why should they?
No.
Like in the States, they go to things called, like, they go to PAX and they go to other conventions. Yeah, because it's easy.
Yeah.
It's a lot more expensive for them to come over to... Now,
international travel and...
RTX, a Rooster Teeth specific event, didn't have the attendance the second year, didn't have the growth the second year that they needed. And that is an event that people are going to come specifically for them. Yeah. Why would they come to an event that isn't about them in the hopes that people who want to see them are going to be there?
Yeah.
Because they go to that event, they have to take stuff with them to make money from. They don't know if anyone's coming who wants to see them, so there's no guaranteed money for them being there. In the US, it's a lot easier, it's a lot cheaper, so they don't have to make as much money while they're there. Because what's going to happen, if they come to an overseas event, they're going to go, right, you know, we might not get enough people, so we're going to say our autographs are now 30 quid instead of 20 quid because we need to make up that loss somewhere.
Yeah.
And people can go, oh, I come over it, and then they want extra fucking money. And it's like, well, yeah. It costs a lot of money for them to come over here.
Just generally capitalism. It's how things work in business.
Yeah.
Because regardless of how, great the content is or how obviously down with the kids they all are, and the fact that they're fostering a community, they still need to make money.
Yeah.
like you say, these things ain't fucking cheap.
No, exactly.
And they're difficult to work out.
It's fucked up.
And if there's not the market there, what's the fucking point of putting it on? If we're going to lose money on something, it's
now let me play devil's advocate. But what about me?
And that's it. Well, what you need to do then is
Yes.
get a fucking plane ticket and go to the American one.
If it's that
'Cause
important to you.
definitely going to be there. And then you can go to all the ones that you think like you're missing out on. I'm sure they're releasing press releases for this shit anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, I know.
but you can't react to it. So,
We won't. Anyway,
you can't do really, dynamic live reactions to a press release, right?
no, you just tweet out something that you haven't thought about. In general, a lot of like the community are great about it, and they're like, yeah, fair enough. Like I was just like, oh shit, and then I'm done.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. And then you kind of go, well, there's a free weekend.
It's like, oh, I did tweet out, and I went, oh, that sucks. Here's why I was really looking forward to it. Oh well, and then people responding like, oh, we do meetups anyway. Like they do community meetups.
Yeah. So
Like not our Rooster Teeth themselves, but the community, themselves hold meetups that you can go to and meet like-minded people. That's the thing is, I went to RTX. I was like, this is really cool. I'm going to get to see the people. And actually, what was best about it was the friends I made when I was there, the people I met.
Yeah.
Even like say friends I made, like Alex and Liam are the two guys that I still talk to now. But then there's guys in the queue that we played card games with,
Right.
And like. Never seen him again. Actually, tell a lie, I did see one of them. The second year we went into one of the panels, and I turned around and went, was you in the Ruby panel, like queue, last year with us playing cards? He was like, yeah. He's just gone, oh, good to see you. Like, it was just...
Yeah. Well, that's the point, isn't it? It's, the community of these things is...
Because, in all honesty, you go to a panel that lasts 45 minutes...
Yeah.
You laugh, you watch some exclusive stuff, it's really cool. You sit in queues for hours and you like spend more time with the community than you do.
Yeah.
We met this the first year we were watching the Rooster Teeth podcast panel in the main hall, and we were sort of squeezed into this. So you had the chair section and then you had other sections like taped out, like with electrical tape, like, okay, can you stay within these bounds because this is a walkway here. So we were like right in the corner, squeezed, me and Liz with this woman. And we started talking to her. She was, I believe she was an American woman who moved to Germany, who came to London for RTX.
Right, yeah.
And we just stood and spoke to her while the panel was going on. That's what conventions are about. It's the community. So, yeah, the Rooster Teeth employees might not come over, but you could just go to one of the RTX community events and spend time with those people.
Yeah. Yeah,
They don't have any local to me, which is annoying, because I probably would go.
I'm sure there'd be London ones, though, right?
Yeah, but travelling to London, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Entitlement, though. Yeah. The entitlement of some fucking people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just... The reason I've gone a little bit quiet is because I was looking up entitlement and weird shit going on the internet. A couple of weeks back, Justin Bieber offered Tom Cruise to a fight. Remember this?
Oh, God.
Don't know why. Not sure where this has come from.
These celebrity boxing matches are becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Because there was two... Again, YouTubers, which, in all fair, the YouTubers, one of them was it Logan Paul? I think it was Logan Paul.
Right. Yes.
It was. Was it Logan Paul and KSI, wasn't it? Or
was
it was Jake
one of
Paul
the. I can't
KSI?
remember which Paul it was. It was one of the Pauls.
Right. So whichever Paul brother it was, they're twats. KSI is a bit over the top FIFA player.
Yeah.
Right? He's quite funny, but. I can't watch it because it's too much. However, they made millions for charity,
and they didn't really do much of fighting, and it ended in a draw. And that smells of collusion to me.
However, they made a lot of money for charity.
Yeah. No, I'm not disputing that. And the fact that it went to charity as opposed to their own fucking pockets is amazing for narcissists like that.
Yeah, good point. Oh, I'm sure they made some money out of it as well.
Absolutely.
Sponsorships, yeah.
Of course they fucking did.
Yeah.
And their channels made tons of money probably as well.
Oh, they do it. KSI is the highest earning YouTuber at the minute, I believe.
Right, okay.
He makes like more. I think he's taken over PewDiePie.
Yeah.
That's another name you've probably heard.
I've heard of that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Never seen him or her.
It's a him.
Hit.
He's not really. No.
Yeah.
Logan Paul's the top. I thought KSI was the top.
Ah.
Huh. Never mind. I was wrong, apparently. Others.
But yeah, so it's, it seems to be an in vogue thing where, you do this. And there used to be a TV, there was like a TV special over here a few years back, wasn't it? Like Celebrity Boxing or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember who was involved. I think Ricky Gervais was involved in one of them, and it was various celebrities boxing each other. But at least they actually seem to be trying.
Yeah.
But these guys on YouTube don't seem to even be trying. However, like it seems like it could well. I mean, enemy want you to believe that it could well be happening.
Of course.
But I think nothing has come out of Tom Cruise's camp, because why the fuck would he even entertain the idea?
I'm trying to think if Tom Cruise probably doesn't even look online. He's probably not heard anything about it firsthand. No. It would be his agents, and I don't know if his agents would even bother him with it. And if they did, he'd either just go, "What?"
Yeah,
or he'd go, "Who's Justin Bieber?" I think he knows who Justin Bieber is.
Yeah, I would imagine.
But
probably.
It's just like, why would he bother himself with that?
Yeah. It's just bizarre that it came out of nowhere. Like, there's no beef between the two of them. It would make more sense if he'd offered out Drake or someone like that, wouldn't it? Really?
Well, no, because Drake would kick it. Tom Cruise would kick his ass.
Tom Cruise would
actually.
kick his ass. Yeah.
But
I think
it's just weird. Why Tom Cruise?
Yeah, like I say, it would make more sense if it was a contemporary.
Just sitting there, like, I want to fight Tom Cruise.
Yeah. What haven't I done?
Yeah. So weird. Why Tom Cruise? Yeah, I saw.
And
that.
I would watch that fight, because I believe Tom Cruise would kick the fuck out of him. Because also he was trying to get he added in someone called Dana White, who is
Dana White,
UFC promoter.
No, he's the owner.
Oh, he's the owner.
Yeah.
And I think Conor McGregor said that he would stump up the cash or something to put it on.
To watch, he'd want to watch it. Yeah.
But I think Conor McGregor and Bieber have got a kind of one of those faux friendship things anyway, because they're the best at what they do. Yeah, except they're not
arrogant, rich,
arrogant pricks. Yeah.
Saying that, I wouldn't say that's Conor McGregor's face.
No, absolutely not. He's got the cojones to back it up.
He
properly.
would destroy us.
Yeah, he would rip me in two, and then fuck my corpse. Probably.
And I'd be okay with it.
Yeah,
yeah, probably deserve that. I don't like.
It just seemed like a really weird thing to happen, but I would genuinely pay for it. One of our previous guests left a little comment that made me chuckle. On Twitter, it was Ant from Anton and E Gaming.
I saw he popped up again.
Yeah, I would personally love to see Tom does his own stunts for the past 2 decades, although I'd say more like 4 at this point. Cruise beat the ever-loving hell out of Justin Glamour Muscles and throw a hissy Bieber.
Glamour Muscles. It's great.
So yeah, that was weird. And then Bob Mortimer as well called out Ant and Dec. Dear Ant and Dec, me and Vic challenge you to a fight round the back of the shops.
I would watch that. I've got to be honest. They're 4 people I really like.
Yeah.
And
it would be a comedy fight as well. Like, there would be lots of pans that made silly sounds.
Yeah.
Throwing stuffed bears at each other or something.
Yeah, and it would genuinely, and then there'd be fucking Matt Lucas playing drums for some reason, dressed as a baby.
He'd be the judge, wouldn't he?
Yeah. But I know, and people give Ant and Dec a lot of shit, but they are genuinely funny guys. It's just, it's not. I don't know. But. I'd like to see those 4 fight. Speaking of team. Slapstick, weird sort of pan comedy, like you were just saying, I was sat there last night. I think something we were watching had just finished, and then me and Liz did what all good couples do and picked up our phones and started getting distracted.
Didn't have a conversation with each other.
No. Distracted. That's what you do these days. So, how's your relationship lasted so long? Don't know. As you're looking down at your phone.
We ignore each other.
Yeah, we tolerate each other. But then we sort of both looked up at one point, and Harry Hill was on with like these 3 guests doing.
Is it Harry Hill's Alien Fun?
I don't even, because I just looked up and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Like, I don't know. It's supposed to be funny, I think.
Yeah.
And it's not.
No, I know. It's amazing that Harry Hill has managed to continue doing that same shtick.
Who was on it? There was that really, really famous English actress. Well, I think she's a really, really famous English actress. She is if you're English, I think. Darling Buds on May. She played Ma.
Oh.
I can't remember her name, but she's really famous. She was on it. There was
yeah.
another sort of like well-to-do woman you wouldn't expect to be in something like that, and some bloke. And it was just fucking weird.
Yeah.
He was getting them to dress up and do weird shit, like. And it was just, they were these really forced bits. Like there was, they showed a clip from Darling Buds of May where Ma got her leg right up in the air when she was dancing or something.
Right.
And Harry Hill said something about it, and she was like, "Oh no, I can actually still do that, Harry." And he's like, "Oh well, I think we should see it." And she goes, "Oh well, no, I can't. You know, after doing it for all these years, my legs, you know, something's kind of gone wrong with them. They look really weird, and they're a bit longer than they used to be." And it's just like, oh, for fuck's sake. And I was just like, what's going to happen? She's going to pull out some false leg or something. And bugger me, she flopped 2 legs over and they were like really long. And, oh, could you stand up and do a jig for us? And they did. Oh, it was so horrible.
Yeah, that's kind of.
I don't think I would have even laughed at it when I was 5.
Yeah, it's all Harry Hill's done since the 90s, basically. It's that weird, slightly anarchic, weird, very, very staged, very obviously.
I like that. I wonder who would win in a fight against this person, that person.
Right, yeah,
well, let's find out. And then you get 2 really bad lookalikes, sort of oil wrestling or something. That's quite funny because it's just silly. But this forced sort of slapstick comedy is just like, no.
Yeah, his stuff's always been a bit.
It's like a really shit version of Rick Mail and Aid Edmondson.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Oh, no, it's not. Because the shit version of Rick Mail and Aid Edmondson is Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. And they're still funny. Harry Hill's like a shit version of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's weird because, like, his stuff's always kind of been a bit like that. And it amazes me that he's been on primetime TV for as long as he has.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind his stuff is so weird and childish and stupid.
Yeah, he works as the voiceover for You've Been Framed because that's always been a bit cringe.
Yeah.
The voiceover for You've Been Framed's always been a bit cringe.
It used to be Beadle, didn't it?
Yeah,
Jeremy Beadle, and then it was that girl off Emmerdale, Lisa
Riley.
Yeah.
Not Lisa Tarbuck, Lisa Riley. But yeah, so You've Been Framed is like America's Home Videos, Funniest Home Videos. And it's got that really shit voiceover that's sometimes they'll do something and you have to laugh at it.
He was good at that because he's so stupid and puerile.
Yeah, and his TV burp's quite funny sometimes.
Yeah, TV burp was always quite good. And like I've got one of his stand-up DVDs as well, and it wasn't entirely because I think I'd only ever really seen TV burp when You've Been Framed, and it wasn't quite like that. He uses a lot of props. He's a prop guy. But the props are all weird.
But I mean, Joe Pasquale did that, and Joe Pasquale, but he had the voice to back it up as well, which made it even funnier.
True.
I like Joe Pasquale.
Yeah, I haven't seen much of him recently. I remember enjoying him as a kid in the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I like Harry Hill, but those like the cooking program that he had and this one just don't really.
Cooking program?
Yeah. There was like a fake cooking program that he had. So it was Harry Hill's Tea Time or something, and he'd have really weird guests on that, and they'd pretend to cook something really strange.
Oh my god!
It was the same kind of stupid slapstick.
It wasn't done. Was it done to look like it was serious, but?
No, like the set was very cartoonish still.
Oh, okay.
Like it was it was Harry Hill land. Like he lives in this weird, slightly strange, cartoony world.
I was just seeing it being like a send up of like a Heston Blumenthal sort of,
which you can see,
which would be
he's
really
got the same
funny.
face.
Which would be really funny.
Have you ever seen him do Heston Blumenthal?
No.
He puts like a
does he
wig
do
on and
it?
he's got exactly the same
Oh,
face.
okay.
And he does this really weird
Okay.
weird thing with his tongue and like
You know that. See, I think that would be funny if he made it so it was almost like it was serious, but then it was just some weird.
Yeah, no,
that would be funny. But
he's
okay.
all into that one specific type of comedy that he does.
He's a doctor.
Yeah,
He
which
has
is
a
why he always has
PhD.
the pens in his top pocket.
Yeah, he's an actual doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then you find that, don't you? Like, you know, Ramesh Ranganathan was a teacher.
Yeah.
People have these, like, Jimmy Carr worked in an office. Like, it was just, you have all these people with, like, button-down jobs.
Yeah.
And that's not who they are.
Ramesh, is he the one with the lazy eye?
Lazy eye, yeah.
He's fucking brilliant.
I love Ramesh Ranganathan.
He is brilliant.
Yeah.
I saw him. He did that series where he was going back to find out like about his culture or something.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and he's like, I've never lived in it. I don't know how this works. People keep coming up and talk to me, and I don't talk a word of their language. That was brilliant. He's really funny.
Yeah.
He's really. There are some that are just brilliant.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even know where we went with that, but it's cool.
No, I can't even remember how that started. Ray Winston has signed on for the Black Widow movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Ray Winston in the fucking MCU. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
I really like that.
So do I.
There was some leak, wasn't there? I don't know if it was a leak so much, but somebody took a picture. I think they were on the set, or they were near the set, and there was sort of like, there was two dummies. They were like mannequin versions of Scarlett Johansson and another actress.
Oh, right.
On a motorbike or something, and they came in two crates, and they had the name. One had the name Natasha, and one had another name on it.
Okay.
Who was what was the name of the person? It began with a Y, I believe, and she was. Close your ears if you don't want any potential spoilers. But she, in the comics, she is a character who also took the mantle of Black Widow.
Oh, right. Okay.
She was another character who was Black Widow. She was another assassin who sort of trained with Natasha. But she was also sometimes a villain. So we're not sure.
Yeah, because Black Widow wasn't always on the good guys' side.
Yeah, and she wasn't always Natasha Romanoff, apparently.
No.
So there's this character might be coming into it to sort of take that mantle.
So the bad Black Widow would be that one, probably, and
possibly.
The good, yeah,
It's either that. Yeah, it's either that or it's like almost like a buddy cop, like they're friends in it. Yeah, maybe she double crosses her, but then it might be that, like in the future films, she comes back and then takes on the role of Black Widow as a good character.
Yeah.
Which would be interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to seeing what they do with it, because it's obviously going to be like Red Sparrow, but less rapey.
Red Sparrow, but less rapey.
Yeah,
okay.
like, cause it'll be about
because it's Disney.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be essentially, I think, what it's going to be is going to be set where like they train the assassins.
Yeah.
Because there was that flashback that she had in one of the films where she was at like a ballerina-y type academy,
she was
wasn't
at
there?
the academy, yeah.
Which I can't remember the name of.
I wonder if they're going to show like the scene, because she ended up having a hysterectomy, didn't she?
Yes.
I wonder if they're going to sort of show.
Because was that pre-Disney? The mention of that. Because she was saying that she was a monster or something, wasn't she? And that like
that was in the first Avengers.
Was it the first? Yeah, so it was pre-Disney. No, wait. I think Disney came in on the first Avengers.
Mentioning it is one thing.
Yeah. Showing it.
I mean, they're not obviously. It would be really weird if it turned into some sort of like educational video. This is how you perform a history. Like no, but sort of showing around the time that happened.
But the whole point of that place is that they de-sexed them.
Yes,
isn't it? You know.
Yeah, they took away all sort of
want,
temptation.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it's also going to be. What's the thing where her and Hawkeye, they keep mentioning some mission,
Bucharest
don't
or
they?
something,
Bucharest
isn't
or
it?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if it's going to be that as well,
Yeah, I mean,
or if they're going to save that for a sequel or
for,
something.
yeah, Black Widow 2 or something.
Which is going to be weird because Scarlett Johansson will be older.
But they can de-age them so easily now, can't they?
She doesn't even need to be there.
No.
Like, the fact that those suits, the time travel suits, weren't even.
Yeah, that kind of blew my mind slightly.
Weren't even real suits. They weren't on them because
No.
they filmed that long before.
Yeah.
And then it came out the other day that Jake Gyllenhaal's known the end of Endgame,
Right.
knew what happened at the end of Endgame about a year and a half before it was released.
Right. But
Because he
that's
needed to
because-
for Homecoming.
Yeah, because he comes from a rift
Yeah.
in the multiverse.
Created by that. But no, he knows.
Yeah. The thing that happened at the
Yeah,
end.
the thing that happened at the end with the.
The other people, because I kind of want to, that Ray Winston in a Marvel film would be
cool.
good. Other people in the cast include David Harbour from Stranger Things and
Yes.
the most recent Hellboy.
Yeah, I've not seen that Hellboy. Have you?
No, me neither. I
really want to.
didn't hear good things about it.
Oh, really?
But I would still quite like to see
It
it.
looked really good.
Yeah.
It looked really funny. He's got Big Mo from EastEnders.
Yeah. Weird.
She looked like she looked like a really good character, to be honest.
Yeah, I will still give it a watch because I like Hellboy.
And David Harbour.
Yeah, and David Harbour. Yeah, I'll give him a pass. Florence Pugh,
I know that name.
who's been in things, and
That's
also
P-U-G-H, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's the one who's the other character, I believe.
Oh, okay.
She's the other
right.
Black Widow character.
Just having a look at what she's been. She was in The Falling TV series. Lady Macbeth. Oh, right. Yeah, I know who she is. Yeah. Her.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know her.
Yeah. And possibly Rachel Weisz.
Ooh.
Although some places have confirmed it, some places haven't.
I like her.
Yeah.
I really like her.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good cast.
The other thing as well that's come out recently because of essentially the winning of 2019 so far by Keanu Reeves.
Being he's
in
fabulous.
John Wick 3 and Steampunk 2077.
Yeah, Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, sorry.
Yeah.
He has revealed that, or Kevin Feige revealed that they've asked him to play almost every role in the.
Yeah.
They keep going to him,
They keep
being like, "Do you want to be this
wanting Keanu
person?
Reeves.
Do you want to be this person?" And he's just got so much lined up that he hasn't been able to do it.
I can't.
But they are in talks with him for the Eternals.
Ooh.
Yeah, like it's possible that he'll play in that, which I think is something to do with like.
They're gods.
Yeah, they're kind of. It's like the Grandmaster and the Collector and people like that. So
Yeah, they are Eternals.
those characters are Eternals of some sort. So
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
well be that you've got Benicio del
Oh my
Toro
gosh. And Keanu Reeves.
and Jeff
And Jeff
Goldblum,
Goldblum.
all in the same movie,
Oh, that would
playing
be
off against each other.
genius.
If
That would be like an
that's-
overactor's. I mean, no, Keanu's
Yes,
not
be
though, is he?
amazing.
Keanu's is.
Keanu's like
he's
under overacting.
he's a real. Yeah, he's either like really subtle
Yeah,
or he's just like completely over the top.
yeah.
There's no middle ground with any of them.
Jeff Goldblum was brought into Ragnarok to be Jeff Goldblum. Like they would just like do Jeff Goldblum. And he was
Benicio
like,
del Toro was just completely.
He was off the
wacky.
scale, wasn't he?
And then chuck Keanu Reeves in with those two. That would be fucking incredible.
Like I said, I have no idea. No one knows what that film's going to be yet. But if they're using those same characters,
That would be amazing. Did you see that the E3 with Keanu Reeves? Did you see
I
that
didn't.
clip?
No.
Oh, so like he just comes out like completely rock star.
Yeah.
The guy never ages. He's always relevant. Like people just love him. But he came out and like there was loads of cheering, and as the cheering died down, there was a guy in the crowd who just kind of goes, "You're fabulous." And Keanu Reeves goes, "You're fabulous," and that's become a meme now.
Right.
You're fabulous. If you ever see it,
I think I possibly have.
yeah, that's just Keanu Reeves, and this guy's just like Keanu Reeves called me fabulous. Like, it's just brilliant.
But he's basically won this year. I mean, I'm as I said last time out, like I'm well behind in the John Wick thing. I've seen none of them, but I know that I would enjoy the fuck out of them all.
Number one's genius. I was going to watch number 2 the other day.
Yeah.
But I think I need to find out if Liz enjoyed number 1 as much as I did.
Right.
Because she sat and watched it.
Yeah.
But
did she enjoy it?
But did she enjoy it? I don't know.
Yeah.
We started watching How to Train Your Dragon 3 yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
We turned it off about 2/3 of the way in. Because Chloe just sort of lost interest and went off.
Sure.
We're like, well, I mean, we could sit here and watch it quite happily, but...
Because they're quite easy to watch, those How You Train Your Dragon movies.
Brilliant
I do
films.
like them. I think I've seen part of the third one. I think it was on a little while back. But
like the Toothless, the dragon, he's just such a... the character, he's brilliant. He's like the best character in it. But yeah, yes, we started watching that. I also, for Father's Day, received the second and third volume of Battle Angel Alita.
Okay.
Mangas.
Yeah.
It's just so good. Such a good story. And it's weird how I think the film is like 4 volumes. Although the third volume, what happens in the third volume isn't in the film. What happens in the second volume is literally just her motorball career.
Right. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it is completely different to the first one, but it's still really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just got the last 2 parts. I think there's...
So I suppose in that second one, is she like rising the ranks or playing the politics of the game and that as well? Or...
No, she's rising the ranks, but her goal for winning isn't the same as in the film. You know,
right,
she wants to win it in the film because then that's her ticket to Zarlem.
Yeah.
In the manga, that's not her reason for doing it.
Okay.
Her reason for doing it is, I think it's just she's trying to find purpose.
Right.
Because at the start of the third one, she's a musician.
Okay.
It's very Japanese. It's so weird.
I can imagine.
It is really weird. It doesn't make... It's like she's trying to be a musician while she's ripping people's spines out, that sort of thing. It's But yeah, she's not what are they called? The bounty hunter. She's not like the bounty hunter character anymore.
Berserker.
No, the Berserker is the body.
Right.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Is the Berserker
Yeah,
the body?
yeah, it is. Yeah, sorry. I'm wrong. You're right.
I can't remember what they call them, but she's a bounty hunter of some sort, isn't she? But she's not that anymore. You know it.
Yeah.
It's 2 words.
Yes, it
isn't
is.
it? But it's not bounty hunter.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Yeah.
No, it's gone.
You've got the syllables as well.
Yeah.
But it's but they're still really, really fucking good. I got them last Monday, and I finished the third one like Thursday. I think I finished it.
Oh wow!
And they're like quite a lot. I mean, they're comics, so they're quick reads. But he's looking for it.
I'm just trying to find it on my letterbox to see if it will say.
In the synopsis.
Yeah, I've got Letterboxd open anyway, because we're talking about film, and I can't remember when it fucking came out.
I've got it.
Yeah,
Hunter Warrior.
That's it.
I knew Hunter was in there.
Warrior was in there.
Oh, fuck that. And I knew Hunter was in there. We could have got it. We could have got there without looking it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I think it's in the third one, the Hunter Warrior with the dogs is in it.
Right,
Because when that was in the film, I was like,
Master.
he's not in it.
Yeah.
But he comes into it in the third one.
Fair play.
And it's...
So they really compressed a lot of it down.
Yeah, and they mixed it over because, like, the main... the big villain in the first one, he's not the one that the dog guy goes after in this one. And the reason the dog guy goes after this other one is he's the one they're going after, like the big villain in this. I think he comes back in the second one, actually. No, it is the third one. I'm getting them mixed up now. But it's the guy who's like all decorative and stuff like that.
Right. Nick Blood, not Nick Blood.
But it's a Z. It's
the
a
bloke
Z name.
the bloke from Deadpool.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and it's a Z name.
Ed Skrein.
But they're just really, really good. And I'm really looking forward to the second film. It's so good. So good.
I watched a couple of films recently. I haven't been to the cinema. I really wanted to go and see Rocket Man, but I think I've missed that boat.
Is it not out still?
I don't know.
Liz was going to take him on to see
been
Rocket
out
Man,
for a while.
but she never did.
Yeah. It's like there's just been too much going on. I was in Sweden all this week. So I haven't been able to watch much of that. But yeah, I watched a thing called High Rise, which is based on a J.G. Ballard book, and it was directed by the bloke who did Free Fire. He's a British director who does really good films. This was just fucking weird though.
Oh really?
Like the whole point was it's set in like the 70s in England. It's like a futuristic 70s. Like everyone lives in this big high-rise building, and it's class layers. So you've got like the people who design the people at the top, and then the poor people all down below. And there's a power shortage because it's the 70s. So the rich floors get all the power, and the bottom floors, and that starts a riot, and it's all about But it was fucking weird, really.
I just want to use your Wi-Fi. Oh, no, it's the 70s.
Yeah, no. So you got like. I don't know. The cast was really good, like Jeremy Irons. So
it's
Tom
more like
Hiddleston.
it's like a compressed sort of study on society.
Yeah,
isn't it? It's probably only set in a high rise because they couldn't afford to shut down enough streets. They just filmed it in one building.
Yeah, but like I say, it's based on a book. So this book has been out since like whenever J.G. Ballard was around doing his books. I don't know.
It is sort of like not even condensed. It's just like a focused. Societal sort of study.
That was really weird, and I'm not sure that I enjoyed it. Just like I'm not really sure I enjoyed XMen Apocalypse because I watched that Apocalypse with Jason.
That's not the new one, is it?
No, Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse in the big blue suit.
It's not great, is it?
Nah,
it's really not.
It was enjoyable though. Like I enjoyed it for what it was,
but I hate what they did to it.
Just not great.
You hate what they did to Dark Phoenix.
Yeah. But I haven't seen.
I'm not looking
Dark
forward.
Phoenix
I don't
yet.
want to watch Dark Phoenix.
Again, these X-Men films, like I don't watch them in the cinema because I can't be arsed with them because I know they're not very good.
Yeah.
But I will watch them when they come to TV
because
I
know
quite
you're
enjoy the
enjoy
X-Men.
Yeah,
they're good to sit through, and but it was weird seeing John Taylor from Queen as Angel.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Like the actor who played.
In Bohemian Rhapsody, played Roger Taylor.
Roger Taylor. And John Taylor's from Duran Duran, isn't he? Whoops.
Yeah.
But yeah, he started off in EastEnders as well.
Yeah,
kid.
he did. Yeah.
Like, it's just weird to think that he's in Hollywood blockbusters now.
Yeah. But yeah, he. Yeah, it's not. It's an like Apocalypse. I enjoyed it because it's switch off. It's not. My X-Men.
Yeah, no.
They haven't been ever. Really, the first one was closest.
The first one was great because we'd not seen anything like it before.
We were like, "Oh, is this how they're going to do it?" I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
and now we've been spoiled with comic book films.
Around about the same time as The Matrix, so everything was black leather.
Yeah.
Jump seats and shit. And you're like, well, that's quite a cool aesthetic. I've seen that done.
Yeah.
I get that. And I understand in a way that there's no way you could put Wolverine in that yellow fucking suit.
No one would buy that.
Or have Cyclops in a blue onesie with a big yellow X over the front of him.
No one would buy that. That looked ridiculous 15 years later. Who's that big purple guy? He's cool. But yeah, at the time, they were great because that's what we had. I mean, before that, what did we have before that, really?
Blade.
But nobody knew that was a comic book.
Exactly.
So one of the guys was watching that Friday night at work. There's not even a Marvel title card. There's not even a based on characters from Marvel. All you get is executive producer Stan Lee.
Yeah.
And it does say at the end, I think, based on a...
Yeah, I think it's...
It doesn't even say
credits,
based on a character... from Marvel by. It just says based on a character by, and then the woman's name who created Blade.
Oh, right. Oh, really?
It doesn't even say Marvel.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting.
As far as I could see.
Okay.
So we didn't know that was a comic book film.
Yeah.
The film is still cool because it's Blade.
Yes.
The effects
Oh, the effects of dog shit.
shocking.
Yeah. I watched it a few years back now, and I was like, "Fucking hell!"
With the drops of blood and stuff.
Yeah,
wow.
Or the bit at the end where
It
Dorf
blows up.
turns into a giant blood monster.
Yeah.
And it just looks like the worst.
But then you get the practical effects of that giant, like,
Oh,
flubbery vampire. And it looks
was
really
that
cool.
Was he in the first one?
Yeah.
Was it the first one?
Where he
Okay.
burns him with the UV lamp.
Yeah. That was cool because it was real.
Because it was practical effect, yes.
Yeah.
But, the rest of it is weird.
But it's just that opening scene, man, is so like it's
That's iconic.
achingly of its time.
Yes.
Like all that kind of like
The rave.
high energy rave music mixed with like vampiric shit.
Yeah.
It was very playing to a Generation X that were just about
Yeah.
at that point in their lives.
Techno.
But it's so iconic.
It's still one of the best it's a great opening scene, and it still infuriates me that people don't know that song is not
Operation
public
Blade.
domain.
Yeah.
Operation Blade.
Yeah.
That is not the song.
It's not. No.
But it is very sort
The two
of
songs are incredibly similar. Though.
it is very like the argument between like Ice Ice Baby and Under Pressure, where there's just a little extra note somewhere.
No, but I wrote dun 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 dun.
Yeah, and it goes dun 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 dun. Mine goes dun 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 dun. Like what? Similar, not the same. But yeah, it still infuriates me. I was like, that's not what the song is,
It's
and
not,
I'm going to need to look it up too. I'm sure we've had this argument.
We have
this
done
conversation
this
before.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
Blade, when I was watching it, and I'm like, it is still a really good look. Like the cinematography on that film, the style is just so cool.
Yeah.
And Wesley Snipes is just brilliant.
Yeah. And even like you've got Chris Christopherson is brilliant in it as well.
Chris-
Like what the fuck
what?
is he doing there?
Yeah.
But,
I mean, he's like probably the best character.
genius
in it.
casting,
Like
absolute
Whistler
genius
is like one of the best characters.
Yeah. I mean, I've definitely seen the second one, and I enjoyed that as well, but not as much.
It's all right. The third one
The third one I can't remember at all.
is the
But
third
I'm
one's with
sure-
Ryan Reynolds,
Oh, is that the one with Ryan
I
Reynolds?
believe,
Yeah.
and it's really good. I really like it
Yeah.
because it's like an army of vampire hunters,
That's
isn't
right.
it?
Yeah.
Because the second one's the one with the
Matt Goss from
With-
Bros.
oh my god,
Isn't
Matt
it?
Goss from Bros. That's the one where
With
they've got the jaws that open.
Yeah, he's
out,
like a super
like the
vampire.
predator
Yeah.
mouth. Sort of,
Yeah.
yeah.
It does shoot forward as well, doesn't it?
It sort of opens.
Yeah.
Yeah, opens.
Or, yeah.
It sort of grabs.
Yeah.
They're like what they call.
Mandibles
Yeah.
or something.
Is there a word that begins with P? I don't know.
Don't know.
But yeah, in the third one, I think it's. I can't remember the story. I know Ryan Reynolds is in it. I know it's an army of vampires. That's it. Oh,
Yeah.
army of hunters, but that's
Yeah.
about it.
I definitely have seen it because
Yeah.
I really like Ryan Reynolds in it.
Yes. I think that's why I like it. I don't know if I like the film.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I like Ryan Reynolds'
No, I know.
character in it, actually.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is about the only thing that I can remember from that film.
And isn't Whistler's daughter in the third?
Yeah,
one?
because didn't he die in the second one?
Well, he died in the first one apparently,
Oh,
and then he
right,
comes
yeah,
back in
yeah,
the second one,
true,
doesn't
That's true. Yeah. Good point.
he? Because he shoots himself in the head,
Yes.
or you're led to believe he shoots himself in the head
That's
in the
right.
first one.
Yeah.
Because you see his hand drop down and drop the gun, but you
Yeah.
don't see
But
him
you
shoot
never see
himself
it.
in his
Yeah,
head.
yeah. If you don't see it on screen, it never happened.
And if you do see it on screen, it might not have happened. I don't
I need
know.
to go back and watch the first Blade again.
I need to watch all of them, I think.
Yeah. I need to buy the other two.
Yeah.
Or maybe
Maybe
stream
not.
them if they're available.
Maybe not.
But it's interesting. And then there was Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
Yes, we had
It
that
was
as
around
well.
about the same time, like early 2000s.
Yeah. But then, I mean, saying that before that, I mean, we had like the Batman series, like the Tim Burton Batman.
Yeah, but then we had the Joel Schumacher.
Yeah, that kind of ruined it, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was going in the right direction, and then
Yeah.
I don't know.
But even so, like going back and watching those early Tim Burton ones, you're like, "Fuck, this is like the '66."
It's
like,
weird,
even though
isn't
it
it?
like
it
had
was
that-
really dark and gothic,
Yeah.
but quite campy.
Yeah, like especially when you got to the second one and you've got like Christopher Walken dancing around in a fright wig, as Max. What's his face? He was one of the bad guys. Isn't
Yeah, that character's in the games, isn't he?
Yeah.
Max. I mean, the character's in the whole the franchise itself.
Yeah. I can't remember his name, but he, but then you've got Michelle Pfeiffer
and all is forgiven.
Yes. And then weird, like pervy penguin as well. Like he's a bit of a kind of sex pest.
Yeah,
it's weird, and he has the fused fingers and stuff.
Yeah, but he walks around going,
just like.
And then you've got
Meredith.
the boats, and then you've got the boats.
Yeah, and penguins with missile packs and shit. Yeah, it's all very strange.
That is very 66 Batman, isn't it? With a Tim Burton edge, but
but they still were nowhere near as bad as the Schumacher ones.
So you kind of forgive them for doing X-Men the way they did.
Yeah, like it kind of made sense at the time, but looking back now, you're like, well, I mean, it's just not. But again, it's because Marvel didn't own that stuff. They weren't making it themselves. It was a licensed franchise, and it still is, because up until recently, they haven't owned it. It's been Fox, hasn't it? So,
have we got any hint as to how they're going to be coming into the Marvel universe?
I haven't read anything, but it wouldn't surprise me to think
Reverse
that
House of M.
all those snaps. Because they're gamma radiation. Did we have a conversation about this recently, or have I just heard this somewhere else and I'm regurgitating it?
I think you hinted at it. Yeah. You said something about the gamma. Yeah.
The fact
you said
that
something about the
Hulk was the only one who could use it to snap because of the gamma radiation.
Because that's how he was created.
Yeah. And the fact that within an hour, you've got 2 snaps.
Yeah.
That created all that gamma radiation. That's how they pinpointed where Thanos went at the beginning of the movie.
Because he used it to destroy it.
And they were like, well, the only thing as powerful as that just happened on this planet over here.
Yeah.
Let's go kill him. Like, that's how powerful that gamma radiation burst is.
Yeah.
And it happened twice right next to each other at the end of Endgame.
So it makes sense that would create
So the amount of gamma radiation is there going to be. But then you're going to have to be like, well, it either happens instantaneously or you wait 15 years and start introducing kids who were born at the time of the snap who've got these genetic mutations in the bloodstream.
Yes.
But then you have to wait 15 years of movies to
introduce... Because they're doing them sort of real time.
Yeah. Except they're now all 5 years ahead.
That's a good point.
They're all now set in like 2024.
That's true, yeah, because they're 5 years later.
Yeah. And they're introducing multiverse.
But they don't ever say what year it is, do they? They just say 5 years later.
Yeah, but every single one up until this point has been set in the year it's been released.
And they do have years in them, don't they?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Like, when they go back in time, they go back, we're going to go back 5 years to 2013.
Yeah.
And the Avengers. Like, all the films are set in the years in which they're released, except Endgame, and now Spider-Man Far From Home, which is set 5 years in the future. And they can't really go back and start doing it from this point because half the population of the universe is gone.
Yes, they are, at this point, aren't they?
It's a bit weird. But equally, I've heard Marcus and McFeely, the 2 guys who wrote Endgame, and people have been like, so killing Black Widow when you knew there was a Black Widow film coming out.
Yeah.
Why? And they're like, yeah. It's like the whole Endgame thing to us was like a what if.
So it didn't actually happen.
Like, what if Hulk managed to, or Bruce Banner managed to fuse clever Bruce Banner and strong Hulk and become clever Hulk? What if Thor got fat? What if... Like, it's all kind of...
So they're saying it might not necessarily be canon?
They basically were like, it's not our problem. We wanted to tell this story with loads of, like, what-if stuff.
And then just... That's kind of what... Who's it? The guy who done Last Jedi said about... J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Like, but I wanted to tell this story. It's like, but J.J. set this up. Yeah, but that's not what I wanted to tell. Yeah. So he'll have... He's doing the third one. He'll fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Snoke. Who's this Snoke? That's all right. I killed him off. It's fine.
It's so fucking right. It's true.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's like, fuck you guys, telling a great story that I love.
With the characters he gave me.
You can sort it out afterwards if you don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
and the executive producers, who ruin everything, they do like the... I don't know, what do they call them? The people upstairs who don't really have anything to do with it, who have to say everything's okay. Go, yeah, that's a really cool story. And someone goes, yeah, but sir, and it's like, nah, that's a cool story. Make it.
Yeah. But I'm sure Kevin Feige has got a plan for this, because he seems like a man who knows exactly what he's doing.
He set this up a long time ago.
Yeah. So...
But speaking of introducing the multiverse and then connecting that to Spider-Man, did you see what Tom Holland has been saying in the news?
No, I did see him on Graham Norton the other day. Oh, yeah, bringing a proper Spider-Verse with Garfield and Tobey Maguire.
I love that fucking idea.
Pretty cool, wouldn't it? Yeah,
I really like that idea.
I like the fact that he's just put that out there as well and just been like, I think
this would be cool, wouldn't it? And everyone's going, yes, that would be fucking amazing. I know how to get stuff made that I want made. I just say stuff.
Yeah.
I just say stuff.
Because also you could bring Venom in on that as well. Like Tom Hardy's Venom, because he is technically in the same world as Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yeah,
because he's a Fox thing.
Yeah,
no, Sony.
He's a Sony one.
And Sony are not owned by Disney, but they are doing the deal
that
makes Spider-Man a thing in the MCU.
That was a really clever move by Sony,
and it's a really shrewd move by Tom Hardy as well.
Yeah.
To be like, fuck yeah. Because if Tom Holland can do it, I can cross over too, right?
Bring symbiotes into it.
Yeah.
Why not? And then he's also been going around, I think he's been doing it for a couple of years actually, going, well, yeah, I spoke to Feige and I spoke to this person and that person, and my version of Spider-Man's actually been in the MCU since Iron Man 2.
Oh, right.
And people are like, what? And he goes, well, that kid who sort of holds up the hand, that's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's Peter Parker.
Yeah. But weren't there like little hints to that anyway? Or was that just him making it up at the time? Like,
I think there were hints to it.
I think it was all fan...
Because it's sort of like, well, that would be really cool if it is him, because it's in New York and it's about the right age that he would have been at the time. Yeah. So it kind of makes sense that it would be him. It's like, out of all the fucking millions of kids, all the hundreds of thousands of kids or whatever in New York City, that one's
that one then went and got bit by a radioactive spider.
Yeah. But no, it's believable in the sense that because of that, he then got into sort of mechanical engineering or electronics, because he was fascinated by Tony Stark.
Because comic book logic as well.
And because headcanon.
Yeah. Because everyone, the whole world is running on, like...
Tom Holland is just fantastic.
Yeah, did you...
He's just there and he goes, yeah, because like, this would be cool, wouldn't it? And everyone's like, yes, it would, do it.
But he has like no filter either, because he gives shit away all the time.
All the time. I like the fact Jeremy Renner's his babysitter when he goes to interviews.
Yeah, well, it was like on Graham Norton this weekend, he was there with Mysterio.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
And they seemed to be having a really good time, but you could tell Jake was like almost
on
watching
edge
him
the whole time. he's just got this reputation now. This little English kid. And all the Americans are like, oh fuck.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, by the way, Jake, you're going on Graham Norton show. Oh, fantastic. That'd be great. Yeah, with Tom Holland. Oh shit.
So you got to watch what he says.
It's like a walking bag of anxiety that you've got to carry around with you.
But actually, Jake Gyllenhaal was really funny on it.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah,
he's got a really weird sense of humour that I quite like.
Yeah, I mean, fucking, he was in Donnie Darko.
Yeah.
He's weird.
Yeah,
I mean, Donnie Darko and Nightcrawler, like he does really weird films. And then I mean, to be fair, Jarhead's really quite.
That's true. Yeah, fuck, I'd forgotten about Jarhead.
I love that film.
It's really good. Yeah.
It's a war film.
Yeah.
Where there's not a bullet, not a single bullet, no fighting. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
I don't know. And Spider-Man, what, 2 weeks?
Yeah, can't fucking wait. I want to go and see Toy Story 4 as well, even though I think that it's going to be disappointing after Toy Story 3.
I just feel like I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
I mean, like number 3 made me cry.
Yeah.
So, and not number 3 made me cry, but not at the point. I mean, yeah, the part where they're all sort of going towards the pit, the fire pit. But also just the bit where Andy's giving up his toys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
that
the
got
bit
me
that
as
got
well.
me.
Oh yeah.
The
Absolutely.
nostalgia,
like giving up childish things. Yeah.
oh my god, it's just fucked up. Like,
yeah,
how that bit gets you.
Pixar are evil. Like Pixar have got this thing where, like, I don't know what it is. Like every single one of the ones that I've watched recently, like all their most recent ones, are really fucking. They pull on your heartstrings.
Inside Out.
Inside Out is like. It's like water torture.
It's a coming of
Inside
age.
Out, it's like Chinese water torture.
This is a coming of age thing, isn't it?
I love it, but it's a tough sit.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
Yeah. But not. Yeah, but
not horrible sad.
not upsetting.
Like, yeah.
Not. Yeah.
Kind of uplifting sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got this chemistry going on over there that just.
It's just, you can just imagine all the writers get around the table and they go, right, now we're going to discuss how we make them cry.
Yeah.
And like go, right, well, we could do this. And like, yeah, how can we make that worse? And it's just like, they must spend like a day just thinking, how can we make this scene more upsetting?
Yeah. I must admit, I applied that to my Father of the Bride speech at my mum's wedding.
Oh, really?
Week. Yeah. Because I was like, well, I'm not the funny one.
Yeah.
And I can't do a traditional Father of the Bride
That's what
speech.
my wedding speech was like, though.
Right, yeah.
I was there and I was like, how can I say the most sentimental shit that I do mean?
Yeah.
But how can I make it really sentimental?
Yeah. That's exactly the thought I went down, and I was like, almost like, what would Pixar do?
Yeah.
You know, I was like, right, okay, so I mentioned my mum, and I mentioned the fact that she's brilliant, and the fact that she brought us up normal, despite the fact that we were one parent down.
Yeah.
And, like, she never ever told me that she had it super hard until recently.
Yeah.
Like, to the point where we left the house that we grew up in, and she didn't have anywhere to go.
Wow.
And nowhere to move the furniture to until the day that we moved out. Like, I didn't know this until very recently.
Yeah.
And so I added all that shit into my speech, and every fucker in there, like, there was so much crying. I was like, this is exactly what I wanted.
And then you sit there, hands flat on the table, drink, soaking it all in.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like. That's how I did mine.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like, right. So I say all this nice stuff about my in-laws. I say the nice stuff about my parents and my family. And then I'm going to say nice stuff about every fucker in it. Like, I'm going to collectively say, because it was that whole thing. Like there was, I imagine, and it was very intentional. The people we invited, because we invited people that we hadn't seen for years.
Yeah.
But were significant within our lives.
Right. Yeah.
And then we had those two words, for good. And it's like, yeah, it's got two meanings. It's about us. We're going to be together for good. But it's also about how everyone in this room has changed us for good.
Yeah.
Like, mate, and it's like, and that's why you're here. And then you sit down and you're like, good. They're all crying. I win. And it's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, it was all
over at the
intentional.
back because you did you were playing to Just Me at one point.
Yes,
with podcast
yeah,
references, and I was just
and
like,
I sold the podcast as well, didn't I?
I'm literally the only person in here apart from your dad.
Yeah, I sold the podcast as well, didn't I?
Yeah.
I forgot about that part of it where I actually, I did make a joke. I did make the joke. It was for you and anyone who understood, and Liz as well, because she would have got it.
Yeah.
Because she's like, fucking podcast. And I did sell it to people. I forgot about that part. Yeah. It's good. It's weird when you put your mind to something, what you can come up with. Because I can't write for the life of me, but I managed to write that, and everyone enjoyed it, and everyone liked it.
Well, this was the other added pitfall that I've got now. People know I write for a living.
Oh God,
and so if I don't come up with some goods,
no downloading a template off the internet.
No, precisely that. Yeah.
No, I did.
But I kind of riffed on that whole thing though. Like my whole thing was like, right, well,
you got.
I'm not the father of the bride, as you might have
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, as you might have done. And it's like, well, normally this is the bit of the speech where, like, I get to say how I've paid for this whole day, and now this is my payback.
Yeah.
But I can't do that.
Yeah. So you use the traditional.
I used that template and then completely subverted it.
Yeah. You used it as a tool.
Yeah.
To write this, and that's what I did. I like, in all honesty, I did look up.
You have to.
I looked up the speech and how
yeah.
it's usually structured, and you sort of include little bits and pieces. But I meant, like, it's like you didn't Mad Lib it.
No.
You didn't take a speech and just replace the names and places.
No, I didn't do that.
You can't do that.
But that's it. And actually, to be fair, like, all the fucking speeches were spot on.
Yeah.
Like, my favourite was, like, Nigel's son was one of the best men. And his opening line was, "I met Nigel in 1993. I was naked and covered in blood." As his opening gambit.
That's brilliant.
Which I loved. And, like, Nigel's was spot on. And even the other best man who wasn't going to make a speech, he was going to make Brendan say his bits.
Yeah.
But Brendan was like, "No, this is too personal. Like, you should say it."
Yeah.
And he got up, and he was the only one who didn't have any notes at all.
Really?
And he delivered like a 3-minute speech directly to Nigel and my mum.
Fucking hell.
And was like really heartfelt.
And he was the one who didn't want to do it.
No, yeah, precisely. And actually, his daughters were like, I don't know where that came from.
He doesn't do that.
Like, he's a very quiet, reserved guy at this
Yeah.
And, like, no one expected it. But, like, people were coming up after the wedding and stuff, during the thing, and they were like, that was the best collection of speeches
They've ever.
at any wedding that I've ever been to. Like, everyone did something slightly different.
Yeah.
Like, there was heartfelt, there was comedy, there was obviously the groom's speech, which is always going to be quite heartfelt as well.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
there was yours, which was like
Yeah.
grabbing at people's hearts.
You just. Yep.
And I was just like, because it's true, isn't it? Like, you go to these things, and, like, often this father of the bride speech, especially, is like dry and fucking,
Yeah.
you know.
There's a lot of.
Or you get one person who's doing a speech who just can't talk in front of people, and it's
You
all a
get
little
that
bit
one.
like,
You get the really nervous person. You get the one who's stuttering. And you get the person who thinks they're funny.
yeah,
And then you get the person where everyone's looking at their watches, like,
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
yeah, yeah.
Depending when you do the speeches.
I think it's different because obviously our families have lived together for like 10 years, 15, no, fucking 20 years.
But
now.
this is it. It's. I don't want to say it's like a formality. It's not a formality. They got
Yeah.
married because they wanted to get married.
Yeah.
But like you say, they've been in air quotes married for
20 years.
like me and Liz. We've
Yeah.
been together 10 years before we got married. So
Yeah.
nothing changed except we had a really cool holiday afterwards.
Yeah.
But nothing changed except I now wear a ring and she wears a ring and we got wedding pictures. Like that's you know, our lives haven't changed because we were married. There's no tax relief or anything
Yeah.
like that because we're both earning decent enough money where
Yeah.
we have to pay full tax. You only get tax relief if one of you's on a low income.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah,
it's the same with like your mum and Nigel, I suppose. Like
yeah.
nothing really changes.
No, and there's no real pressure on the day either.
No.
Really, like, because
I guess like
she was gonna turn up,
yeah.
and that's the biggest kind of
Otherwise,
anxiety.
or was it? She sat there. She's like, "Oh my god!
Oh,
like,
wait,
this has
hold on.
forced me to look at my life." And actually,
I did have to slow her down going down the aisle. Though.
Oh,
She was
really?
like,
she just wanted to do it.
Fucking...
You stop it. But yeah, it's. I don't know. Weddings are cool.
But I didn't get a chance to talk about it properly last time. So
No.
I thought,
No, you
and it
didn't.
was on a theme of like fucking Pixar.
Yeah.
And all that.
Heartfelt.
kind of
I mean, on a theme of speeches, I suppose I did a bit of jet setting as well. So
Oh, yeah.
like, we went to Mallorca, and then a couple of weeks later we flew
Yes,
to Germany
you did.
for a night.
Yeah.
It's the same. So that we went to visit the same family members. They live in Germany. The wife is German. Last time it was his 50th. This time it was her 50th birthday. I took it easy this time because I missed out on the next day.
Right.
They all went to like an ice cream parlour and had like ice creams, and they went and had a lovely breakfast. And I
You
was
were in the bedroom. Dark.
yeah, I was visiting.
The porcelain throne.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Talking
I
to
was
God.
visiting my friends Huey and Ralph. But this time, there was a point. So, do you want another drink? And I was like, no. And I managed to say no, and I didn't. But it was fantastic. But then, she made a speech, and it was less of a speech and more of a list of everyone who was there.
Right.
It was one of those speeches. It's kind of, I want to thank my family from England, this person, this person, this person, this person for coming all the way over here. But she said it in German and she said it in English because she had German friends there in English. And then she went on to the next people, our neighbours from next door.
Right.
These are the people we met when we were dog walking who we're friends with now. These are the people I studied with. These are my family from New Zealand. And I'm like, oh, Jesus. And she went and listed every single person and then went, thank you. And that was it.
That sounds like a very Germanic speech, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
That sounds very Teutonic.
It was very efficient and to the point. There was a purpose to the speech.
You, thank you.
Yeah. And, it got to the point. So she thanked all the people from England. I was like, oh, that's nice thanking. Like, let's get on with the speech. And then she went and started thanking other people. I was like, oh fuck.
Oh, this is what this is going to be, huh?
The problem is now you started mentioning people by name.
Yeah.
You have to mention everyone now. And then we had to stand there, the grins on our face. You're like, yeah.
The Rictus grin.
And then you sort of got the golf claps after every name. Yeah. But had a fantastic time though, because they're they're quite wealthy.
Yeah.
They live in a very affluent town in Germany. And so they got this house that they had built. They're in banking. Like, he was quite high up in Deutsche Bank. Like, it was a managerial position in Deutsche Bank. She worked for them as well. So they built this fucking gorgeous house. And they're like, oh, yeah, we brought too much alcohol, so we had to rent another fridge. It's out on the veranda. Oh, okay.
All right.
And, yeah, there's more, so when that starts getting empty and there's more in the garage that we can, in the fridge in the garage, but there's also more that we could top up if we need to. And, oh, my God. There was 50 people there that I had to cater for. Oh, brilliant. They got all this stuff, and, that's really nice. And then, so as people started arriving, then the caterer arrived, which they were from this Indian restaurant. Okay. I don't know if the Indian restaurant was for, what airport did we land in? Was it Luxembourg? Are they Luxembourg? I don't think they are. Anyway, so they're from that city.
Right.
This restaurant, and they came and they set up, and they got an actual catering section of their business, and it's one of the best Indian restaurants in Germany. And all throughout the night, they were just bringing out these little dishes of curries.
Right. Yeah. Almost like curry tapas.
Beautiful. Yeah, exactly. Right. Actually, she called it tapas.
Right.
And it was giant tapas, though, because it was big dishes.
Oh, really? Oh, right.
Okay. I mean, they were sort of hand-sized dishes, and it was all the rice and the curry, different types of curry. And it was absolutely beautiful night. So you can imagine this. But earlier in the evening, we'd gone and taken the dog for a walk. And we were walking along, and then the daughter's kind of oh, yeah, this is where all the rich people live. We're like, wait, what? They're rich. You're in this town, this family that have rented this rich. They're the poor
also,
people. If you live in the town, you're poor. If you live out of the town, you're not. You're rich. And I'm like, fuck.
Wow, man.
And going around, you're like, yeah, no, I get it. Actually, it's just this town that's set up just for rich people.
Yeah.
But the family are really humble, really nice. They don't flaunt it and stuff like that. They just have nice stuff because they can afford it.
Yeah.
They don't make a show of it, and they send their kids out to work like normal jobs.
Good.
Yeah.
Which it should be, really.
Yeah, so I got up and I had the ice cream in the morning and just went for a wander around the town. And
whereabouts was it? What?
They live in a village, and I need to get this right because there's a German woman at work, and when I mentioned the name of the town, she's like, where? And I said it again. She's like, oh, you mean... I don't understand why English people add syllables to things. Right, because I call it Hofheim.
Right.
But it's Hofheim.
Oh, right. Because it's got umlauts or something,
it's
right?
Hofheim. It's not Hofheim. Yeah. Hofheim. It's one
syllable.
Yeah, like Nuremberg.
Yeah.
Isn't Nuremberg.
No, it's
Nuremberg.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's...
Yeah.
So this
However, I don't understand why Germans have a propensity to compound words together to make words that are a sentence long.
Yes. Except also you get the English word for what was it? What's the one Liz said? Canary, I think it's.
Right.
Liz likes. And so we say canary. Germans, it's like long, like about 5 syllables. So why'd you add syllables? And like, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
You're saying the direct translation of canary is small yellow bird, a bit like a parrot, but not.
Yeah. That's exactly it. But that's what they do. It's kind of like that. We have a name for something.
Yeah.
They describe
they have a
it.
description. Yeah.
Yeah. Nuremberg. Canary. Small yellow bird, bit like a parrot, but not. Oh, God. To be fair, it's like French is very similar.
Yeah.
The
It's like that.
Classic apple of the earth.
Yeah. Pomme de terre.
Yeah. Potato. No, apple of the earth.
No.
No, it's a potato. No, it's an apple of the earth.
It's an apple, but it grows in the ground.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's not an apple.
You can eat an apple raw.
Yeah.
I mean,
you
suppose
could
you
eat
could
a
eat a potato raw,
but
but
it would
Jesus. I mean, it would
yeah.
probably break a couple of teeth too.
These are chopsticks. No, they're not. They're Chinese sticks.
Well, it's like that video as
Baguette
well.
chinois.
It's like that video that I posted, that New Yorker finding out about the French numbering
God,
system was
that
so
was brilliant.
fucking funny.
That was brilliant. 90. No, 4 20s and
4
10.
20s and a 10.
99. No, 4 20s, 10 and 9.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
God.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go onto our Facebook page. It's there somewhere.
70. No, 60 10.
But it's just the way that he describes it as well.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. And then he's like, don't tell me what it is for 100. And you fucking tell me it's some weird shit. And the guy's like, so what is it? Is it like, is it just like 100? He's like, no, it's like, it's either 425s or 250s. He's like, is it? He's like, no, it's 100.
No, it was funny.
That's like 4 fucking numbers for one number.
4 20s, 10 and 9. It is funny. Anyway,
yeah.
I like languages, but then we do similar stuff.
Yeah, of course.
But
every
then,
language has got weirdness in it.
But then, is it Chinese where they have words for things that we can't describe, and they have, and when you do the direct translation, you're like, yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
But I can't think of any. But language is great. Maybe an after the podcast discussion.
Perhaps.
Let's talk language.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Do that.
Probably. I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
But yeah. Yeah.
I didn't want to. I don't want to. I think I'm gonna say something, and then we need to just end it there, because I don't. If we start talking about it,
we could be here a while.
we're going to be here for a lot longer.
Okay.
All I want to say is, we're fucked. In terms of Brexit and Prime Ministerial, we're fucked. That's it.
We're fucked. I've been Tom.
I've been Ant.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.